Today we're making a pumpkin spider that'll look perfect in your Halloween decorations. This pumpkin spider is rated for indoor and outdoor use, so let's get started with this amazing tutorial. To begin making our pumpkin spider, we need foam blocks. Now, I made a quick video on where to find these foam blocks. I always get them for free, but they're available throughout North America, mostly in the United States. I'm gonna put a drop-down link up there, click the video, and I walk you step by step on where to get these blocks, how to find them, and how to make your own amazing foam creations. So, once we get our blocks, you could either do one of two sizes. I have glued 4 of them together right here, or you could do with one. If you do one, this will be the abdomen of the spider. It's going to be very small and compact. With 4, obviously it's going to be bigger. I think with 4 it'll be just the right size, but also 1 for the abdomen would look great. We need 1 for the abdomen and then another one for the actual head of the spider. So let's just start with the abdomen first. We'll be gluing 4 together. To glue it, I'm using Loctite. You can also use great stuff, expanding foam. Oh my gosh, that's a big old bug. Okay, so it's super simple to glue. I always put the expanding foam right in the seams. So we get 1 block, super simple. And I actually just ran out of it, so bear with me. All we're gonna do is put some expanding foam like that in a zigzag pattern. Then you get another block, you put it on top, and you just move it back. We'll do it to all the sides that touch, just like this, and we have 4 blocks together. Or you could do the foam fusion. They sell a foam glue that I sometimes use, but it takes about 12 hours to fully harden and 24 to cure. So I think expanding foam is super simple. So let's do it that way. Once we have it glued together like this, let's get to carving. I'm going to be using a hot knife. I also have a hot wire. If you're going to be using foam a lot, I always recommend having a hot wire. It is such a lifesaver. I'm going to put the link below to the one I purchased. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but if you're doing a lot of things with foam blocks, it is the best tool to have. So I'm going to try to give it more of an oval shape. Since it is the abdomen of the spider, you don't want it to be a perfect ball. You want it kind of to be more of an egg shape or maybe an almond shape. So let's start cutting off the edges so we have to scrape off less foam after. I wanted to take a quick moment to mention the first book I've written. It's called Little Olive and the Wally Bat, and it's available on Amazon via paperback or Kindle. It's rated for kids ages 2 to 6 years old, and it follows a brave little olive that gets lost and is found by a very helpful brown bat. If anyone wants to support me or read it to their little ones, go check it out. Little Olive and the Wally Bat on Amazon. Now let's get back to this amazing tutorial. So to cut our foam blocks, I have here this huge hot wire bow. Like I said before, it's kind of pricey, but so worth the money if you're cutting large foam projects. I'm going to link this specific one in the description of the video, just like I link everything else that I use in the video. I'll link it below. So with this hot wire, it's going to make it super simple to just cut everything and make it a little bit more oval shape. But also we could use a regular hot knife. I'm going to link one that I often use. I'm going to link it below. It's from Harbor Freight. It just takes a little bit more time. With this one, it cuts like butter. It makes it so much simpler to cut these kind of projects. So I've decided that I'm going to cut it with the foam blocks facing up just like this versus sideways. So let's get to cutting. We'll cut the sides off, try to give it a little bit more shape. So now that I've used the hot wire, look at the shape we have. We're getting a more rounded shape. I want it just to be more oval, so I'm probably going to start cutting just a little bit more, but this is almost the size of a regular pumpkin. So, gosh, I'm losing my voice, so bear with me. So what we're going to do is we could get our foam cutting knife, whichever one should have one. we're gonna start cutting off excess pieces. We wanna give it a more oval or rounded shape if you wanted to go with more of a pumpkin shape. And then we're gonna get some 40 grit sandpaper. And here's where the hard work actually comes in, which isn't really hard, it's just tedious and time consuming. We're gonna start sandpapering the entire area to start smoothing it out. Once you have a shape that you can work with, because no amount of cutting is gonna be able to give you a perfect ball or oval shape. So once we get to a shape that's good enough, that's when we start smoothing everything out. So it's gonna get messy, so put some plastic down, work in an area where you can easily clean it back up. You don't want all of this blowing all over. So let's start cutting and doing some sanding to give it a nice shape. All right, now we have finished sanding the entire ball of styrofoam. And it wasn't difficult at all. It just can be kind of tedious and sometimes time consuming, but this is what it should look like. It's nice and rounded, not a complete circle, but it's a great shape. This is gonna be where the trunk is gonna go, but since it's on a spider, it'll be kind of like the stinger, and this will be the front part over here. But this looks amazing. So now what we have to do is the ribs of the pumpkin. All pumpkins have ribs. So super, super simple. We get a long screw. This is about a 2.5-inch screw. Put a piece of string or nylon, which can go to the opposite side of the styrofoam ball like this. Then we insert the screw right in the middle at the top where the stem would be. I said trunk earlier, I meant stem. And then we're going to go down just like this, just like that all the way down. And with our marker, we're going to trace that nylon string or whatever string you use. We have to do as many ribs as you want. I'll probably end up doing 6 to 8 ribs, maybe more. You just want to do as many as you think will look good on your pumpkin. So we have this line right in the middle. Not sure if you can see it. It's where the seam is between both blocks that we put together. We can use that actually as the first rib. So we'll use that as a guide. We'll put our string, you know, about 5 or 6 inches to the right or left of it, put it down like that, and then just outline it with our marker carefully. Once we've done all of the outlines, we can get our foam cutting knife and we can start creating valleys. It can be jagged. We want to make it deep, probably about 2 to 3 inches deep. We'll make these nice little valleys, and then we'll use our 40 grit sandpaper to smooth out those edges. So let's keep on going. All right, now that we have the lines drawn, this is where the ribs are gonna go. So it's gonna go like this when it's completed. But we'll put it up like that so we can cut them out easier. So normally I would be using this hot knife. I use it every single year, but for some reason it decided to die on me. So we're going to use our foam carving knife. And we started over here. We're just gonna make little valleys that are about 2 inches deep. And we're simply doing it by going in an angle and tracing it like that. And just like that, see? We're gonna keep on going to the side. And we're gonna keep on doing that till we do all of them. It would have been so much faster with the hot knife, but this works as well, and we'll get it done in no time. So let's finish this up real quick. Now that we have finished all of the ribs, we're gonna get some 40 or 60 grit sandpaper. So I like to fold mine up like this. And all we're gonna do is like this, at a slight angle, because you want it to be like this. So we're gonna go up and down just like that. And it's gonna soften these ribs over here so that they're not so sharp. And we'll go on the opposite side. And see, we're already seeing the soft smoothness coming out of it like that. Perfect, then we'll keep on doing it until we get rid of these sharp cuts and it's a smoother rib, just like a regular pumpkin would be. For the head of the spider, which is called the cephalothorax, we're going to get one cube and we're going to shape it. We're going to give it a more oval look to it. As you remember, we didn't do a perfect circle for the actual abdomen of the spider. So I have my super giant hot wire. Again, I would definitely invest in a huge hot wire or a larger hot wire if you're doing projects like this, but obviously a small one would be perfectly fine. I just don't have a small one. All of mine are big like this. So I'm just gonna use this to cut off some of these pieces so we can get a smaller shape to it. To make the spider legs, we're going to be using these T connectors right over here. These are 1/2 inch. We also have these cool 3-way connectors as well. We're going to be using 4 of these, and we're going to be using 8 of these. Again, everything I use is always linked in the description of this video. Just hit the little button that says more, and it'll show you everything linked there, so it makes it super easy for you to find the exact same product. So we need PVC pieces to connect it together. These are cut to 1.5 inches. We have some PVC glue right here, this fusion. We're going to apply it on the inside and then push this inside and start doing it this way. We want all the pieces basically to look outward just like this. And we want all of them to be really close together because the spider head is going to go just like that. So we'll stick it all together really quickly. These pieces over here will go like this because this one right here that faces downward, that's going to hold up the spider when we put it on the ground. We're going to put rebar into the ground and it's going to go right in there holding it up like this. So this goes here, this goes here, this one goes in the back over here to hold up the bigger part of the spider. And let's get to gluing. We're just going to be cutting them like that. So this is what we're left with. A very simple and easy little PVC contraption. These 4 corners over here, as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, where the rebar is going to go into the ground and this is going to go on top of the rebar. So the leg process is actually the easiest of this entire build. We're using 1/2 inch PVC and each PVC leg has been cut to 6 feet. That being said, you can make your legs shorter, longer. You can even use thicker PVC. You just have to get thicker PVC bases for it. But I can't tell you exactly how I'm shaping mine because each leg is really different than the other one. So the general rule of thumb is that I'm doing 2 feet for this section, 1.5 for this one, and then the rest of the leg that remains will be here. But it's really entirely up to you. We're going to use our heat gun to make these joints. All we're doing is applying heat to the area we want it to bend. Go like this all around with the heat gun. and then as it slowly bends, you bend it in the position you want. I hold it in place. I have some cans of paint. I hold it in place with paint cans, or you can use, I'm using my tripod as well to hold it. But if you want it to dry really fast, or should I say re-harden, spray it with some cold water from a water bottle and it'll harden in 10 to 15 seconds. So it's super fast, but it's super simple to do. This, you can't go wrong with this. Put the legs in whichever position you want to give it a nice creepy crawl. So with our foam cutting knife, we cut out this area here to make it look like its mouth, kind of teeth. And to make it longer, I'm going to add expanding foam, just like this. We put some pieces of tape, just like that. And hopefully we can accentuate the teeth. All right, once you put the foam, we're gonna spray it with some water and we're gonna wait 3 minutes. After the 3 minutes, we can put some gloves on and form this a little bit better so it's pointier and not all over the place. All right, so we'll touch it like that and it's developed a skin. We're simply going to make this a bit pointier. Once this dries, if we want to trim it a little bit more, we can do so with our knife. Next, what we're doing is simply putting our Christmas balls. These are fillable Christmas balls, and we're just going to put them like this. I bought the assorted box. It comes with about 4 different sizes. I'm going to link it below. And yeah, it's perfect for the spider eyes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use spray paint and spray the inside only, because if you spray the outside, then it's not going to be this shiny look to it. So spray paint the inside whatever color you want. I think I might do black, maybe red. I think I'll probably go with black. And then once we're done, we're going to get our wire cutters and just cut off this little tip right here. Super simple. And then we'll use some hot glue to stick these to the head. And you can put them in whatever shape you want. I'm just doing this shape, but there's so many variations that spiders can have for their eyes. So you pick one that you like. So to finish the face, we have these fillable Christmas balls. Like I said before, we've spray painted them with matte black spray paint only on the inside. What we're going to do is use some hot glue. We're going to put hot glue all on the inside really quickly like this. And we're going to go bam. So I like to set them up before I glue them so I know what they're going to look like, and you should too. Sometimes you want more eyes up here, more eyes on here. It's totally up to you. I Googled a couple pictures of spiders to see what it would look like. So I'll go with that. And then these pieces right over here, these clips, just use some wire cutters just to cut them right off. So this is the pattern that I'm going to do right over here. 4 on the bottom, and then these bigger ones over here. I'm using 3 different sizes. These are the smallest ones, then we have medium size, and we have large size. So if you get the assorted pack, like I'm going to link below, do that. Just use the largest ones, the medium ones, and then the smallest ones. It'll give it a nice dimension. So this is the pattern I want. So in order for me not to forget where it goes when I put the glue, if you just press it down ever so gently, it'll make an indentation so you know where everything goes. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just push it in, push it in, push it in, and do it to everything, and then let's glue it. Let's try to put some just like that. Heavy amount, then we quickly turn it around and put it in there. Let gravity do the rest as the glue falls down, and we'll continue going to the next one. And just to add a little accent features, I'm using some black textured spray paint. You can use regular spray paint, but we gently just spray painted it just from an angle, not even going directly on it. I did it about 24 inches away, and we painted the ribs the same color we painted the stem, just to give it that little difference, and I thought the black gave it a more menacing look. Last thing we're gonna do is connect both parts of the spider. We used Loctite Foam. Fill in the gap with Loctite Foam and immediately get a spray bottle and spray it with healthy amounts of water. Put a timer for 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes, get latex gloves on and then start squishing all of this foam down so that it's not bumpy or rigid. You can just form it better, and we'll paint it orange and we should be done. Once we finish painting the styrofoam that connected both of these halves, we want to cover it. So I found this faux fur on Amazon, and I love that it has this black hairs on it. So we're just going to cut it like this. And I'm going to use a little bit of expanding foam, or you could use some glue. Even caulking, you could use that. Put it like this to conceal the separation. And then I just might put some of this along the bottom of the spider. We'll see how it looks, but definitely put this. I link everything in the bio description. So let's glue that and be done with it. This part is completely optional, but we've added jack-o'-lantern pumpkin teeth. These just twist all the way inside. They're meant for jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, but we're using them as teeth for the spider. I linked it in the bio below. And just like this, we put our 2 feet rebar into the ground, and it's held up by these downward facing connectors. What do you think of it? It's not alive, so this one can't bite you.